Welcome to Movie Lover News. I'm your host, Tyrone Rubin, bringing you the #1 movie news show on Earth. Max Minghella and Jeffrey Wright are joining George Clooney directed film, The Ides of March. Max Minghella has landed the role of Ben Harper in the political drama, The Ides of March. Jeffrey Wright's role at the moment is unknown. The two actors join a stellar cast, which includes George Clooney, who is also director, writer and producer of this film, The Ides of March. Ryan Gosling has the lead role in this film as a young, idealistic communications director working for a fast-paced presidential candidate who falls prey to backstabbing and other trickery from his rivals. George Clooney will play the campaigning candidate alongside Paul Giamatti, Marisa Tomei and Evan Rachel Wood. So this cast is stellar for this film, The Ides of March. The Ides of March is based on a 2008 play, Farragut North, which was written by Beau Willimon, which was loosely based on the 2004 Democratic primary campaign of Howard Dean. Farragut North is said to be a classic tale of hubris set against a contemporary landscape about the lust for power and the costs one endures to achieve it. It is titled after Farragut North, a Washington Metro station in Washington, D.C. on the Red Line. Farragut North serves downtown Washington as it is located just north of Farragut Square near Connecticut Avenue, and the name was chosen because the station is located in the center of the lobbyist district. The Ides of March, based on the play Farragut North, is about Stephen, who is a talented press secretary who has built a career that men twice his age would envy during a tight presidential primary race. However, Stephen's meteoric rise falls prey to the backroom politics of more seasoned operatives, and his one-night stand with a teenage staffer proves to be more complicated than casual. The film is set to be released in 2012, and I love the way George Clooney gets involved in a lot of interesting politically based films that won't necessarily do amazingly at the box office, because he's done several of those films. He's using his mega might in Hollywood to make these very interesting questions which question politics and society. This stellar cast again has George Clooney, Marisa Tomei, Ryan Gosling, who plays Stephen Myers, Evan Rachel Wood, Phillippe Seymour Hoffman, who plays Paul Zara, Paul Giamatti, who plays Myers, Max Minghella, and Jeffrey Wright. It's one of the best casts I've seen lined up for a film in a long time. This is superb acting talent here, and it's just amazing what George Clooney can do in Hollywood. Again, George Clooney, who's writer, director, and producer of the film and stars in the film, based on the play by Beau Willimon, and the film also has Leonardo DiCaprio, another might in Hollywood, as executive producer on this film. We saw George Clooney this year in The American, a very interesting film. He was nominated this year for an Oscar for his film Up in the Air. Following George Clooney's career, I've seen that he develops great relationships with directors, actors, politicians, businessmen, and a lot of the directors he'll collaborate with quite often. For example, Joel and Ethan Coen, the directors. George Clooney's been in 3 of their films: Burn After Reading, Intolerable Cruelty, and the wonderful film Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? He's also formed a great relationship with Steven Soderbergh. They've done all the Oceans films, Oceans 11, Oceans 12, Oceans 13, and Solaris. And then some very intellectually based, thought-provocative films, like Michael Clayton with writer-director Tony Gilroy, where he was again nominated for an Oscar for his performance, and then a film one can watch over and over again and still not fully get exactly all the intricacies of it, is a film Surratt, where George Clooney won the Oscar for that film in a supporting role. It was written and directed by Stephen Gaghan, and in that same year, George Clooney was nominated for Best Director for his film that he directed, Good Night and Good Luck, and was nominated for the screenplay for that film, Good Night and Good Luck. George Clooney has also amassed, I'm assuming, a lot of wealth and stature in Hollywood from producing a lot of films, like The American, The Men Who Stare at Goats, and other films that he hasn't been in, and films that he has been in, he's been producing, such as The Informant, Leatherheads, Michael Clayton, A Scanner Darkly, Rumor Has It, The Jacket, Far From Heaven, and Insomnia. Clooney is also active in conflicts around the world, such as in Darfur and the Sudan. The rest of the cast in this film are also doing amazing work, and I'm just going to try and briefly go through that. Ryan Gosling, who's one of the greatest actors in his generation. We can see him in a film called Drive, which is about a Hollywood stunt performer who moonlights as a wheelman, discovers that a contract has been put on him after a heist goes wrong. He's also in a film called Crazy Stupid Love, which has been released on the 22nd of April next year, about a father's life that unravels while he deals with a marital crisis and tries to manage his relationship with his children. It's got Emma Stone, Julianne Moore, Marisa Tomei, Steve Carell and Kevin Bacon. And recently Ryan Gosling has been getting a lot of praise for a film he did called Blue Valentine, which looks brilliant. I'm really excited. It's with Michelle Williams. He's also been in really interesting films, Lars and the Real Girl, Half Nelson, where he was nominated for an Oscar, Ryan Gosling. And I think his breakout film in terms of mainstream audiences was The Notebook. Also in this cast is Marisa Tomei, who was in The Wrestler in 2008. She was in a wonderful film this year, a really small film, which I really enjoyed, with John C. Reilly and Jonah Hill, called Cyrus, a film which was very much performance-based. Marisa Tomei can be seen in a film called Salvation Boulevard next year with Jennifer Connelly, Ed Harris and Pierce Brosnan. She can also be seen in a film I've done a show on called The Lincoln Lawyer, which is based on the book by Michael Connelly. She stars opposite Matthew McConaughey, John Leguizamo, Ryan Phillippe, Josh Lucas and William H. Macy. And Marisa Tomei can be seen in the 2011 film Crazy Stupid Love, which is also with Ryan Gosling, her co-star in this film, The Ides of March, which I've spoken just about. Evan Rachel Wood, who's also in this film, The Ides of March, acted in a film with Marisa Tomei, The Wrestler, so they've got a relationship. Evan Rachel Wood was also in a film this year called The Conspirator, which was directed and produced by the legendary Robert Redford. Phillippe Seymour Hoffman, who's in the film The Ides of March, directed and acted in a film this year called Jack Goes Boating, and he's in a film due out on the 23rd of September next year, which I'm extremely excited about. I've done a couple shows on this film also. It's called Moneyball. It's been directed by Bennett Miller. It's based on the great book by Michael Lewis. It's the story of Oakland A's general manager Billy Beane, whose successful attempt to put together a baseball club on a budget by employing computer-generated analysis to draft his players. Brad Pitt will play Billy Beane, Jonah Hill will play Peter Brand, Robin Wright is in this film, and Phillippe Seymour Hoffman is playing Art Howe. Paul Giamatti, who's in The Ides of March, was in a film this year called Barney's Version. He's in a film due out next year called Win-Win, and a film called Ironclad, which is a big epic film where he plays King John. And the two latest additions in this film, The Ides of March, one is Jeffrey Wright, who is in a film I've done a show on as well called Source Code, which is due out on the 1st of April next year. It's by director Duncan Jones, who directed the wonderful film called Moon. Jeffrey Wright stars opposite Jake Gyllenhaal, Michelle Monaghan and Vera Farmiga. Check out the trailer for that film, Source Code, it looks great. Who also starred with George Clooney in Syriana. And Max Minghella, we saw this year in the brilliant film The Social Network, where he played Divya Narendra, and he's due out in a film next year called The Darkest Hour. And Max Minghella also starred in Syriana with George Clooney. So this cast puts this film with George Clooney behind the director's seat at a 9 out of 10 on my excitement meter. This will be, I'm sure, a thought-provoking film, an entertaining film, like George Clooney's done so many times with films like Syriana, Good Night and Good Luck. Even this year, The American was very interesting. So to round off the show, I'm just going to tell you the cast again to get you excited for The Ides of March, which is due out sometime in 2012. We have George Clooney, who's writing and directing and producing the film based on the play by Beau Willimon. And this cast includes George Clooney, Marisa Tomei, Ryan Gosling, who plays the lead, Stephen Myers, Evan Rachel Wood, Phillippe Seymour Hoffman, Paul Giamatti, Max Minghella, and Jeffrey Wright. Hope you enjoyed Movie Loving News. As you can see, I'm extremely excited about The Ides of March, and I'm looking forward to more news about this film. Thanks for watching. Bye.